Congresswoman LaMonica McIver of New Jersey joins us now.
Congresswoman, welcome. It's good to see you again. So I'm just going to cut straight to it because all the rest of this noise is just noise. It's just crazy what they're saying out here and why you find yourself in the situation you're in. There were two other members of Congress with you. They were lawmakers, rather. They were not charged. You were. You were targeted. Your charge is to make a point, to send a signal, to say something. And I think we just need to be honest about that, because when you look at the video, to Simone's point, you weren't hitting anybody. You weren't smacking any law enforcement side the head. You weren't cussing anybody out. You were holding on as you were being tussled and pushed about by the law enforcement. So why do you think you were targeted here?
I mean, first of all, it's good to see each and every one of you. Always great to be on here with you all. It's plain and simple. Donald Trump said when they asked him about my situation that the days of being woke are over. And what they mean by that is being black, number one. It's an attack on blackness. It's an attack on women. The segment before with both of my colleagues, we're talking about the attacks on women each and every day through this administration. And that's just the point blank period of this administration. We know that they are cruel. We know that everything that they do is based in cruelty. And I am just the next example of that. Of them showing how cruel they can be. And they're trying to make a point, like you said, Michael, to see how far they can go with this, you know, how much they can humiliate me, how much they can try to embarrass me and sick attacks on me. And that is what is happening right now. And if they can get away with doing it, to me, then they feel like it's open season on any Democrat or anyone for that matter who disagrees with them or criticizes them or holds them accountable.
So, Congresswoman, there is the chilling effect. There is the message that it sends. And then I want to acknowledge that there's also just the practical reality of what this means for you. How much time and how much money is this costing you?
Well, first of all, it's taken up a lot of my time, but I am still 150% dedicated to the people that I represent in the 10th Congressional District in New Jersey, and I don't want this to get ahead of that. And so that is why yesterday when I had to run back to New Jersey, go to court, plead not guilty, I literally ran out of the courtroom, said a couple of words, and had to hop on a flight back to D.C. to vote because, once again, my job comes first, and I don't want this to, in any way possible, to get in the way of that, of the work that I need to do for the people of the 10th. So that's one thing, but it is time consuming. And then it's also very expensive, right? No one's, taking up this case for free. I have to pay for attorneys. And so you have to, raise funding and get support to be able to fight them, because at the end of the day, these charges are serious. They're saying that I can face 16 to 17 years in prison, and it's worrisome at the same time, right? I'm very courageous, and I'm very, not going to back down, and I'm going to continue to do my job and hold this administration accountable. But at the same time, I'm thinking about my 9-year-old. I'm thinking about my husband. I'm thinking about my mom who's worried to death about what is happening and what this administration is doing to me. This is my first time in a situation like this. And so we're taking it really serious. And so we want to make sure we have a great legal team. We have all of the resources and tools that we need to fight this because at the end of the day, these are real charges. This is a real situation.
Congresswoman, there are a lot of people out there, myself included, that knows what it feels like to be in a position of power and in places of power where your presence is treated like a provocation, a provoke, that when you speak up to be labeled as a problem. And the president is targeting you in a way that I feel as though should be unacceptable. He's targeting you in the same way that he targeted Shaye Moss and Ruby Freeman, the black women who are election workers, and that he called out their names and they've had to move, they have security. In the same way that he's targeted Fani Willis, in the same way that he has turned his ire of the White House onto elected officials or even citizens that he does not like and that he thinks he can poke and prod. And the people I all just named are black women. I say all this to say, has Democratic leadership gone to the administration to tell them to stop? Who has picked up the phone and called Alina Habba or called the folks that they know in the Justice Department, called the folks at the White House, called Susie Wiles and told them to back off?
Well, I'm not sure who in the administration and leadership has done that, but I know that, when this whole situation first happened, Republicans started putting in resolutions to have all three of us, both Rob Menendez and Bonnie Watson Coleman, kicked off our committees. There was a resolution put on the floor to censure me, and I want to say that the leader, Hakeem Jeffries, and many folks spoke up on our behalf and basically told them, like, look, this is unacceptable, and I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for all the support that I've gotten from all of my colleagues up until this point, standing with me and fighting back, against this administration, and even picking up, and going to do unannounced oversight visits and really kind of showing that this is not just a LaMonica MacIver situation. This isn't just the New Jersey's 10th or Delaney Hall matter. This is stuff that is happening in these detention centers all over this country. And honestly, they have problems, they have issues, and that we have to continue to, exercise the number one tool we have, which is to hold them accountable and conduct oversight. And so I'm thankful for them for that support. But I can't really speak to if anyone has reached out to the DOJ office or called Haba, herself and, spoke to them about this.
Well, let me just say, I think that I'm just going to make a statement. If Democratic leadership has not picked up the phone to call Alina Habba and tell them to drop these bogus charges against a sitting member of Congress doing their job as oversight, they are failing their membership.